Episode 2, Pre-season Strength Conditioning for Dancers, How to Dance Harder and Longer. A very big portion of the dancers are mostly dancing and focusing on this. A very small percentage are doing a type of fitness work, but this fitness is mostly general, and a very tiny portion of the dancers are focusing on a type of strength conditioning work, what you see within the elite level athletes. But there's one problem. If your body doesn't is strong and mobile and not in good condition, your dancing will eventually hit a wall. In this episode, I will show you how you can build a physical strong base during the preseason so you can dance harder and longer during your performances and during your battle. So let's go. Why conditioning matter? Football players are not going hard every day on the field during the match, and fighters are also not stepping into the cage every day. They build a strong foundation with strength, mobility, stability, endurance. Why? Because your body is your tool. If the tool is weak and stiff, also your dance and your movement will be stiff and weak. And that is what you don't want, because you have a certain thing in your mind, because we are artistic athletes, and say like the part of artistic, you have a certain way how you want to move, and how beautiful would it be if you have the certain mobility, flexibility, stability, and endurance to execute that move. Then you will also be more happy. So the artistic part is the idea you have in the creativity, and the athletic side is how your body is using that creativity and executing that creativity. That's why conditioning is a must for every artistic athlete in the world, in my opinion. If you have another opinion, please put it in the comments, because I'm very curious about it. What to train? So there are a couple of pillars you want to focus on. There are 4 pillars you want to focus on. So number 1 is strength. Strength is your foundation, but you want to focus on functional strength. So think about movements like pull-up, push-up, squats, lunges, hanging, but also other movements like single leg deadlifts, kettlebell swings, Turkish get-ups, and those type of movements. These build a base for your explosive movements, smooth transitions, stand-up foundations, groundwork, and clean control. And here's the key. If you have a strong base, your movement will feel effortlessly, and also you have a better execution. They look more solid, you feel more solid, and also the audience noticing your movements are not sloppy, but strong and very good executed. That's why strength part, the basic pillar. Power. Power is your fast switch muscles. Think about explosivity and speed. So think about like going very fast from one step to other step, or doing a backflip during your performances or routine. So exercise you can do are jumps, depth jumps, broad jumps, landings, sprints, explosive push-ups, explosive squat, kettlebell swings, power sleds, all those type of things that you move with very much power or moving very fast. With power you can jump harder, you can move harder, you can move and transition much better. That's the big difference between doing a move and owning a move. Number 3, endurance. A thing that's really overlooked. Say like this: the endurance, another word for endurance is a gas tank. So have an example. You go into battle, you go to pre-selection, mostly 30 to 45 seconds. An hour later the judges say you are going to the next round. So you're going to the top 16. Mostly you have one round that you dance between the 30 and 45 seconds, but sometimes it can be a draw. You're dancing 2 rounds, you already have 3 rounds. Then you go into the top 8. Mostly you're dancing 1 round, but sometimes it's a draw and you're dancing 2 more extra rounds. But in some competitions you're already dancing 2 rounds without a draw. So there can be 3 more rounds to total. Now we're at 6. You go to the top 4. Mostly in the top 4 you are dancing 2 rounds per person. So that's 8. Sometimes it can be a draw and you're doing 3 rounds. And then in the finals you're doing 3 extra, you're doing 3 rounds, and sometimes it's a draw and you do 4 rounds. So that comes to a 10, 13 rounds. Most dancers are mostly gassed out after 2 or 3 rounds of dancing, because they're giving everything. With a good gas tank you have a good endurance base, so you can last longer in later rounds. You can doing for endurance, you can do circuits, hit work, Tabata workouts, and work like 30 seconds doing a drill, 30 seconds rest, 30 second drill, 30 seconds rest. Mobility. So strength without mobility is like armor that locks you up. You need to have range, flexibility, and flow. I say like this: you can be very strong, but if you don't have the mobility, you cannot move that well. So that's why it's really important to focus on the mobility. So what you can do for this is yoga, gymnastic type of stretching, even weightlifting with full range of motion. Those type of things can increase your mobility. How do you put this into your pre-season? So do it like this. Do like 3 to 4 sessions per week. 3 strength sessions, 1 explosion session, and 1 endurance session. And always begin or end with some stretching or mobility work. And this can be like in less than 30 minutes to 45 minutes. It doesn't need to be that long. Even if you do 3 strength exercises with some mobility work at the end, can also do miracles. Conditioning is giving you a competitive edge. Most dancers skip this because they mostly focus on dancing, 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 and that's why sometimes they plateau or hit a wall or getting injuries or burn out, especially when you get older. Strength and conditioning becoming much more important. But you are smarter. You know that you need to build a strong foundation through strength work, mobility, endurance, and stability and balance. And that's why it separates the regular dancers from the pre-season applied dancers. In the next episode, we're gonna focus on how to make your conditioning dance specific, because at the end of the day, it's not about the gym, but it's about being strong on the floor. Stick around and see you at the next episode.